It took me forever to decide, but here are my top 10 favorite horror and thriller performances of 2024. First is Sydney Sweeney in Immaculate. I feel like Sydney's acting skills don't get the credit they deserve, but she solidified her place in the horror genre with the final scene in this movie. I was not expecting it at all, and it stuck in my mind all year. Next, we have Willa Fitzgerald in Strange Darling. There was a lot I liked about this movie, but Willa's performance was the highlight for me. She needed to be really convincing in her role, and if you've seen it, you know why. Next is Naomi Ackie in Blink Twice. I loved this movie, and I was so glad that I saw it in theaters. Naomi portrayed the emotion of this role so well, especially with the heavy subjects they cover, and she literally had me jumping out of my seat at the end. Nell Tiger-Free in The First Omen. I've been a fan of Nell since Servant, and her performance in this role was just as chilling. I really think she was made for horror. Now for our first male performance on the list, Nicolas Cage in Longlegs. He was so unhinged and iconic in this role, and I loved every second of it. Next we have Justice Smith in I Saw the TV Glow. He broke my heart in this role, and he really embodied the feeling of someone being trapped within themselves. I just rewatched recently and was emotionally wrecked all over again. The ending is really powerful. This one should be obvious, but Demi Moore in The Substance. I think it was the best performance not only of the year, but of Demi's career. Her descent into madness was perfection. The mirror scene was so impactful. Next is Anya Plaschke, sorry if I said that wrong, from The Devil's Bath. Her performance deserves way more recognition. Sometimes when a movie's in another language, I have trouble really deeply connecting to the characters, but I didn't in this case. She was able to convey the struggle she was feeling and the extreme she was willing to go to with just a look. Next is Naomi Scott in Smile 2. The way she was able to keep the paranoia and extreme anxiety going in a movie with over a 2-hour runtime was crazy. And on top of this, she was singing and dancing throughout half the movie. Last but definitely not least, we have Lily Rose Depp in Nosferatu. She unbuttoned that trench coat for this one. I knew from the opening scene in The Idol that Lily had the skills. She just needed the right role to prove it. This is that role. You can tell she immersed herself in being Ellen and went to extremes with her body to prove it. There was no CGI in the possession scenes, it was all Lily herself doing that. Let me know in the comments what your favorite performance of the year was.